Hello and welcome to the story of Krishnamacharya, the father of modern yoga. First of all, I will start with a slight introduction, the beginnings of a legend. Imagine the vibrant landscape of the early 20th century in India, a land rich in tradition and yet on the brink of modernity. In the midst of this transformative area stands a figure whose influence on yoga would be unparalleled. Tirumala, Krishnamacharya, often referred as the father of modern yoga. His life and teachings pivoted yoga from ancient practice to a globally embraced discipline, forever changing the way it is understood and practiced. Let's dive into the early life of Krishnamacharya, so we're really going to the beginning. Krishnamacharya was born in 1988, he was born in 1888 in a small village in the southern Indian state of Karnataka. From a young age, he exhibited a profound interest in the spiritual traditions of his homeland. This interest led him on a journey across India to study with various masters, culminating in his apprenticeships under Krishnamacharya and the remote Himalayas under Brahmachari's tutelage. And Krishnamacharya mastered these ancient texts and techniques of yoga, including the Yoga Sutras, Hatha Yoga, Pradipika, and other traditional scriptures. The father of modern yoga pivots yoga, as I said, forever. Krishnamacharya's profound understanding of yoga was not confined to theoretical knowledge. He began teaching and sharing his insights, which soon caught the attention of prominent figures, including Maharaja of Mysore. And Maharajas invited Krishnamacharya to teach at his palace, providing him with resources and support to develop his teachings. In Mysore, Krishnamacharya began to blend traditional yoga practices with innovative approaches, emphasizing physical postures, asanas, as a way to prepare the body for deeper spiritual practices. And this emphasis on asana practice was revolutionary, creating a structured system that appealed to both traditional practitioners and the new generation seeking physical and mental well-being. Imagine a grand hall in Mysore Palace where young students gather to learn Krishnamacharya, to learn from him. He leads them through a dynamic sequence of postures, integrating breath control and meditation, making yoga accessible and appealing to the modern world. His teachings were not just about physical fitness. They were a holistic approach to health, integrating body, mind, and spirit. And obviously, let's go into the European influence on the yoga asana. As Krishnamacharya's fame grew, his methods began to attract attention beyond the Indian borders. The early 20th century was a time of cross-cultural exchange, and European gymnastics and physical culture began to influence his approach on the yoga asanas. Imagine the Mysore Palace where Krishnamacharya encounters European fitness enthusiasts and gymnasts. Inspired by their techniques, he begins to incorporate elements of the physical culture into his yoga practice, creating a more dynamic and physically engaging form of yoga. This fusion of traditional Indian practices with European physical culture helped shape the vigorous style of yoga that many are familiar with today. Krishnamachaya's innovative approach also included using props and modifications to make asanas accessible to everyone regardless of physical condition. And this adaptability and inclusivity were a key to yoga's global appeal. So how does yoga come to America? The seeds of Krishnamachaya's teaching soon began to sprout in the West. His students such as B.K.S. Iyengar or K. Patati Joyce and Indra Devi played pivotal roles in the beginning in bringing yoga to a global audience, particularly in America. Beginning the bustling streets of just imagine these bustling streets in the 1950s, Los Angeles, where Indra Devi, one of the Krishnamacharya's first female students, opens a yoga studio. She introduces Hollywood stars and the American public to the transformative power of yoga, emphasizing the physical and mental benefits that Krishnamacharya had taught her. Meanwhile, B.K.S. Iyengar's rigorous and precise approach to asanas praxis begins to attract attention to Europe and America. This book, Light on Yoga, becomes a seminal text guiding practitioners through detailed instructions and photographs of asanas. Iyengar's focus on alignment and therapeutic applications of yoga broadens its appeal, making it accessible to people of all ages and abilities. In another part of the world, K. Pattabhi Joyce establishes the Ashtanga Yoga Research Institute, teaching a vigorous and flowing style of yoga that captivates Western students, and his method, which emphasizes a set sequence of postures synchronized with breath, becomes immensely popular, particularly among athletes and those seeking a physically challenging practice. So let's go diving into the conclusion. Let's just wrap it up. Krishnamacharya's enduring legacy. We say that Krishnamacharya had an influence on yoga which was immeasurable. And through his teachings, yoga evolved from an esoteric practice into the global phenomenon, which emphasizes on asanas, integration of breath and movement, and openness to the incorporation of new influences, which helped shape the modern yoga into the diverse and inclusive practice it is today. Imagine a world where yoga studios in every city offer classes in a variety of styles, all tracing their roots back to Krishnamacharya's teaching. Yoga practitioners worldwide, whether they are practicing vinyasa, iyengar, ashtanga, or another style, owe a debt of gratitude to this pioneer teacher. And as yoga teachers and practitioners, understanding Krishnamacharya's journey and contributions helps us appreciate the rich history and evolution of our practice. It reminds us that yoga is not static, but a living tradition, continually adapting and growing to meet the needs of its practitioners. Just think about how it's changed now. And through this connection with the profound legacy of Krishnamacharya, honoring his vision and dedication and continuing to share the transformative power of yoga with the world. Thank you for your attention.